Hi, I'm Phil Malto and welcome to Snowbuilder Television. A few weeks ago, you got to meet our test riders and also see our fleet of sleds for this year. Well, today I'm going to take out our Viper and our Enduro for some evaluation. Later in the show, we traveled to Noranda, Quebec for some Snowcross action, and we head to Valcourt, Quebec to check out the Skidoo assembly line. Let's ride.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by Skidoo, never stop pushing.
As soon as I picked this sled up from Yamaha Canada, there were several likes I mentally noted. I have always liked tracks in the 137 range, preferring them over the 141s. The 125 lug is a winner for me, plenty of grip for the 137 length, and good to go in low snow conditions. After spending much of last winter on a Viper, I was anxious to see what this year's final offering was, and I was pleased to see the performance dampener on the chassis. This year's LTX has a lower windshield for the sportier look, something our test rider Mike Van Meeuwen always prefers. Jumping on the sled always brings a smile to my face, especially when I crank over that Genesis 4-stroke. The combination of that extremely predictable power with a well set up engine braking system ensures you get the acceleration and neutral engine roll you want without the heavy power off feeling from days gone by. The running of this power mill through the Yamaha YV XE clutching system delivers superb smoothness whether it is an aggressive start or a gentle roll to your day. The Hayes brake system also adds to the overall smoothness of this trail performer. The lightest tap on the lever gives exactly the braking action expected from the driver. The Viper is exactly what was expected after riding this model at Snowshoot last March. Super powerful, super smooth, and really cool to look at too. This sled, it grows on you. On the snow, the sled puts out the performance like we witnessed last spring. It dishes out the power and makes you hang on tight to the handlebars, which happen to be built with an ideal contour for tight cornering. The chassis tracks an always predictable line through the corners, delivering smooth, sweeping turns that make you look like an ice oval champ. The chassis did this year what I remembered it doing last year, in that it worked in harmony from front to back to corner to corner. There is no mysterious pitching, rolling, or bucking. It all works together, a harmony I learned to appreciate in 2015, and I see it again in 2016. Where do I begin with this sled review? I probably have to start with the negotiating among our test riders who believe they should all be the ones to take this sled home for the winter. For the first part of this winter, I used the power of my TV host title and managed to keep this sled away from the others for a few weeks. The downside of that decision was the fact that the snow was a month late arriving, so the other riders felt I used my time up. Sorry guys, I played my magazine editor card and took the sled for another month. With snow on the ground, it was time to put this sled through its initial paces. Last March, this sled really stood out, both for its color and for its roll. With the GSX gone, how was this Renegade going to fill the void? Well, it appears it has, and it's done extra as well. Skidoo knows that buyers want great performance, handling, comfort, all in one package, and they have done that with the Enduro, but they've also done more. In this world of riders wanting to off-trail and do exploring beyond the snowbanks, Skidoo has put together a package that can hang with the best on the trails and when the rider so desires and head out into the backcountry. The 800 engine, Pilot TS adjustable skis, Ice Ripper track, air ride suspension, Rev XS styling all make a statement that the industry well knows. When Skidoo added the new color scheme and bold front bumper, a new statement was being made. In our initial runs at Snowshoot and now in the real world of riding, we can see that this sled is creating its own character. Yes, there has always been a Renegade and a GSX, but in this package, the Enduro is setting itself apart and opening up new doors for riders to explore.
It's exciting finally to get the CSRA underway, man. We had a bit of a break. We went to Duluth early, I think we went to Aurora mid-November, and then we were there through mid-December. And then since then, the weather hasn't really been conducive, so we've been off and just dying to get going again. So I'm pumped to be here, happy to be racing. I'm stoked to see a full gate, man. We got 24 pros, I think, today, so it's exciting. It's been a few years since we've had some consequences for having poor heats and stuff. You know, it's a possibility you cannot make the main. So I'm excited. It's going to make us bring our A game, but I think we've been working hard in the off season, and I'm pretty happy to put it on the track and see where we end up anyway. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys from the SCM circuit, so we see them, 2-3 times a year, maybe Duluth, Valcourt. So I'm excited to have them. They're all good guys. They've been around long enough that I know most of them, and it's exciting. Like I said, I enjoy racing, and I enjoy racing with good guys, and I think we got a really good group of them here.
How do the tracks compare on flats, the ski hills, and also the different snow conditions?
Yeah, the man-made stuff's a little more granular, right? So you get a pretty solid ice base underneath, so it's breaking through often, so you get a lot of square edges, where here it's all real snow that's been hauled in through a snowblower and a truck. So it's been broke up. If they stay on it with big groomer, it'll be nice and sugary and deep. I'd rather ride on this stuff. It's pretty clean. There's a lot of snow. There's not much sand or salt in it, which is really good. The man-made stuff is a lot more work to keep sugary, but we know that again. So when we go to the ski hills, they've been packed all year, so we know there's an ice base under there, and we're just kind of prepared for that. But that's part of racing, man. Everything can't be the same. So. Yeah, you just got to adapt to it. You don't know what to expect. I guess you know what to expect when you go venue to venue. You can expect cold weather here. You can expect cold weather in Trois-Rivières or Valcourt. But then you get maybe to some of our London events or Barrie events, it'll be a lot more, moderate temperature, I guess you could say. So we just adjust accordingly. We know what the snow is going to be like, packy or not, and just it's all good. We're ready for it either way.
What's it like when you get back into the groove, the training, getting back in shape for the first run with the sleds through the season? What's it like spending hour after hour, week after week on the road with these guys?
Personality matching is everything, and we've had some really good crews over the year, and some people move on to other things, and that's just part of evolution, I guess you would say. But pretty fortunate to have been involved with a lot of great people over the years, and I'm happy to still have a good crew behind us. We got some new faces this year, but it's okay. They're familiar, we know them, and I'm really looking forward to what this year's got to bring. The first one's always a bit of a question mark, but I know in my mind we've worked hard, and I know what I can do in the snowmobile, so we'll go put it out there and see where we end up.
What's it like working on the race sleds? Well, it's early mornings, late nights, lots of work, lifting, thinking things out, working with my teammates. And because it's a race sled, we can't make any mistakes. We have to make sure the machine's set up for the rider. So whatever Ian asked for as far as feedback. So if the sled's not performing the way it should, there's a lot of testing that's involved. So we kind of have like a baseline package to go from. And different tracks require different setups. And you're always fine-tuning things. Depending on snow conditions, hard packed corners, ice, things like that. So there's a lot of adjustments that we can do. It's not like a trail sled that you just gas, oil, and go kind of thing. There's a lot of specific things that we can change here. So ultimately, if Ian's not happy or comfortable on the sled, we have a lot of work to do. If you basically take a look at maybe some footage from a snowcross race when say Ian comes back and Wayne or myself or somebody gets on the sled, so you have two people on the sled and they drive from the pits back to the trailer, you'll notice that even with two people on it, the rear suspension doesn't squat or sag. So, a normal trail sled, you can get one rider on it and you can step on it, or you can stand and grab the bars and rock the sled back and forth. A setup like that wouldn't work very well in conditions like this. It's definitely a lot stiffer. Beginning of the race, the whole shot, if he can get out in front, he can, maintain that with his skill and his ability. So these sleds have quite a significant lug for the traction. So we're probably running 2 inches plus, depending on what kind of track condition we have. 96 studs, depending on what kind of setup we have. So traction is ultimately very important under these conditions. Team effort, that we want to make sure everybody's successful, but it's nice to have a little, if Ian's got a smile on his face and he comes back, that's all the thanks that I need. It makes all that hard work, worth it kind of thing.
You and I always talk racing. Do you ever get to actually go riding?
Yeah, once a year.
Trail? What's it like when you actually get on a trail?
I enjoy it. I don't enjoy the tight, twisty, slow, heavy traffic. Thank God I race every weekend, so I don't have to trail ride on the weekends. I don't like that. I enjoy going up here, actually, north. I'm from originally Northern Ontario, Sudbury area, so going there up here is great. I like the 401 on snow, so it's big. Big trails and fast rides, and I enjoy that. So I try to get 1 or 2 of those in. Usually I go with Bruno from Sudbury Gervais, G-Force Racing. So he's always up for it, and then Andre and I sneak a ride in, Lauren. So between those two guys, that's about it. I try to poke around with my dad when I have some time, but it's a nice change of pace. Everyone wants to race when we go trail riding, and I'm like, dude, I'm just here to enjoy the ride for once. I actually don't have to race. It's two completely different things, and really the trail's not the spot to be racing anyway. It's meant for the track, so I just enjoy the ride. I got a big high windshield and a long track and just enjoy it. It's good. My snowmobile here, I need it to be stiff. I need it to be compliant initially, but have really good hold up. I can't have it blowing through on the holes. It needs to be really stiff. You jump on it, it doesn't really move, but I want my trail sled to be like a pillow. I want that thing just to float down the trail and enjoy the ride. I don't want to feel any bumps. It's a complete opposite, but yeah, I got a big window on it. I got hand guards on it. I want to be warm and enjoy the ride. I don't want to try to look the part on the trail. I'm okay with doing that here and then stay warm on the trail.
I traveled with Hal Armstrong to Valcourt, Quebec, to the head office of Skidoo Snowmobiles. While we were there, we talked with members of the engineering team and we got a tour of the assembly process where we were introduced to the quality control process.
The role of QA department in production relies on having good parts on the assembly line, make a good assembly, and also making sure that the vehicle integrity is as per engineering specification. So we have a different team composing with inspector, technician, and engineer, manufacturing engineer, to make sure that all those quality processes are well achieved. Well, actually, how it's working is if an inspector or an assembly guy raises his hand because he thinks he has an issue, our team go there to go and see if it's really an issue. After that, if it's an issue, we have to put in place a temporary solution to produce good vehicle. And after that, the third step is to see how much vehicle may have this defect. So we have some quality processes in-house to see what's the spread of the issue. And also we have a good team that can do a smart analyze with our different tools to make sure that we cover all the potential at-risk vehicles.
Here in BRP in Valcourt, we have our own auto certification quality management system that we've put in place. We do have most of our suppliers that supply us components for the snowmobile that are either ISO 9000 or an equivalent. And our internal specification, it's an auto certification, and then we comply with all the rules in the different countries where we need to distribute as well. So we do have engineering specification that we request on different components. We do have quality criteria that we also request and make sure we control when you receive the parts. And that's really where the company built a part of its knowledge, because afterwards, that's how you will design the parts. That's what the part will fulfill, that will give the end product the reliability, the performance, the durability that you want. Every year we always look at all we call it the inputs from the field. So the warranty claim, the report, the comments from the dealer, from the consumer about everything that could go wrong or not to the level they want. And based on this, we apply either a fix in production or a fix on the new model year. So let's use a real example. 2 years ago, we had some cases of customers that were riding their snowmobile, and at one point, depending on the weather condition, the gauge needle will move all the way up and down, will like reset and then continue. So these are the type of problem very difficult to find because it just happened on some sled in some condition. So based on that feedback, we quickly went to a process to define really what's the issue, what is the root cause of that issue. Then when we found out it was electrostatic discharge that was happening within the gauge that could be charged in some condition, we found a fix. That fix was applied, then available for the field, and all the snowmobile of the year after had that fix on. And then this is something you won't see in the field anymore.
Trailering is a part of life for many snowmobilers. Today, Jeremy Gerard from Kimpex is here to install some Caliber products on our brand new trailer to make it easier to load and unload snowmobiles. Let's go outside and check in with Jeremy.
Well, basically what we had was a brand new trailer, and after a couple of uses, there's groove marks in the plywood, the aluminum edge along the top of the trailer basically started to pull back due to the carbides catching, and premature wear on a brand new product. Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to take Caliber trailer products, and we're going to set this trailer up so that in the future we don't have those types of issues. We're going to be installing the Low Pro glides from Caliber, as well as the Trax mat. Our first step was to get the Low Pro glides out and lay them out, and have a good idea by bringing the sled up right to the edge of the trailer and seeing where we wanted the glides to go. At that point, we basically laid out and screwed down the glides, and then after that we went to the ramp and set up the ramp, and then followed through in the end with the track mats being our final step. One of the nice features of the Low Pro glides is that they do have a slotted screw hole, which allows for adjustment if they do happen to be needed to be moved forward or backwards, or your trailer shifts. Well, basically this product extends the life of your trailer and makes this aesthetically a beautiful product as far as the interior appearance of your trailer.
STV is sponsored by Ultimax Belts, performance proven, performance driven. Snowgoer Canada Magazine, Canada's snowmobiling magazine, and by CKX. Wear your passion.
Thanks for watching today's show. On next week's episode, it's all about getting the work done as we take out some utility sleds. In fact, I take one out on the trail to do some brush clearing. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter and on Facebook and our webpage. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter for the latest in snowmobile information. And you can always email me directly with your comments to phil@snowmobilertv.com. We'll see you next week here on The Snow.